Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Nandana Braja Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Shri Harinam Shankar ki jai, Jagad Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Jai Vishnupada Paramhansa Parivrajacharya Ashtottara Satasri Srimad Divine Grace Abhay Charanarvind Shri Bhakti Vedanta Swami Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Anant Koti Vaishnavavrinda ki jai, Namacharya Shri Vilas Thakur ki jai. ग्रंथराज आज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम 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 नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं
नारायणं नमस्ते
नरं चैव नरोत्तमं
नरं चैव नरोत्तमं
देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं
देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं
ततो जयो मुदीर्यते।
ततो जयमुदीरयेत्।
नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु
नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु
नित्यं भागवत सेवया
नित्यं भागवतसेवया
भगवती उत्तमश्लोके
भगवती उत्तमश्लोके
भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी।
भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी।
Hare Krishna. I seek the blessings of all the Vaishnavas here. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubheva cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Today I've been asked to glorify the Bhagavatam verse, Canto 3, chapter 23, verse number 39. So we'll start with that. Te nashtaloka vihara kulachalendra. Te nashtaloka vihara kulachalendra. द्रोणेश्व अनंग सिंहामरुता सौभागसु सिद्धैर्नुतो द्युधौनि पाद शिवस्वनाशु रेमे चिरम धनादवल ललना वरुथि
नाष्टलोकपविहाय कुलाचलेन्द्र
नाष्टलोकापहारकुलचलेन्द्र
सकमारुत सौभगास्तु तोजुनिपात शिवासनासु
सिद्धेस्तुतो दुर्निपात शिवाश्वनाशु रेमे चिरम धनादवल
विहारकुलाचलेन्द्र
ते नाष्टलोकापविहारकुलचलेन्द्र
द्रोणीनन्दा सकमारुत सौभगासु
द्रोणेश्व अनंग सखा मरुत सौभागासु
सिद्धेनुतो युधनिपाता शिवास्वनासु
सिद्धेर्नुतो दुधुनिपात शिवाश्वनाशु
रेमे चिरं दवादलानवरोति
रेमे चिरम धवलवल्लभावरोति. The translation, word by word translation, all the translation and purport are by our revered founder Acharya Nitya Pravishtam Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajakacharya Ashtottara Satashree Srimad. His divine grace. अभय चरणानंद श्री भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी श्री प्रभुपाद जगद्गुरु श्री प्रभुपाद की
जय।
Dena
Dena
by that airplane,
by the airplane.
Ashtalokapa
Ashtalokapa
of the predominating deities of the 8 heavenly planets,
of the predominating deities of the eight heavenly planets.
Vihara,
Vihara,
the pleasure grounds,
the pleasure ground.
Kula Achala Indra,
Pula Achala
of the king of the mountains, Meru,
of the king of the mountains.
Dronishu
Dronishu
in the valleys,
in the valley.
Ananga
Ananga
of passion,
of passion.
Sakha,
Sakha,
the companions,
the companion.
Maruta
Maruta,
with breezes,
the breeze.
Saubhagasu,
Samagala,
beautiful,
beautiful.
Siddhai
Siddha,
by the Siddhas,
by the Siddha.
Nutaha
Nutaha,
being praised,
being praised.
Dudhuni
Nidhu,
of the Ganges,
of the Ganges.
Pata
Path
of the downfall,
of the spot.
Shiva Swanashu
Shiva Sanasu,
vibrating with auspicious sounds,
vibrating of auspicious sound.
Reme
Being
he enjoyed,
enjoyed.
Chiram
Shiva,
for a long time,
for a long time.
Dhanadavat
Dhanadavat,
like Kuver,
like a
Lalana
banana,
by damsels,
banana,
Varuthi
Varuthi,
surrounded.
surrounded.
Translation. In that aerial mansion, he traveled to the pleasure valleys of Mount Meru, which were rendered all the more beautiful by cool, gentle, fragrant breezes that stimulated passion. In these valleys, the treasurer of the gods, Kuver, surrounded by beautiful women and praised by the Siddhas, generally enjoys pleasure. Kardama Muni also, surrounded by the beautiful damsels and his wife, went there and enjoyed for many, many years. Purport by His Divine Grace, Abhay Charanam Vishnu Bhakti Swami Shri Bhakti. Kuver is one of the 8 demigods who are in charge of different directions of the universe. It is said that Indra is in charge of the eastern side of the universe, where the heavenly planet or paradise is situated. Similarly, Agni is in charge of the southeastern portion of the universe. Yama, the demigod who punishes sinners, is in charge of the southern portion. Nirti is in charge of the southwestern part of the universe. Varuna, the demigod in charge, is the demigod in charge of the waters, is in charge of the western portion. Vayu, who controls the air and who has wings to travel in the air, is in charge of northwestern part of the universe. And Kuver, the treasurer of the demigods, is in charge of the northern part of the universe. All the demigods take pleasure in the valleys of Mount Meru, which is situated somewhere between the sun and the earth. In the aerial mansion, Kardama Muni traveled throughout the 8 directions controlled by different demigods described above. And as the demigods go to Mount Meru, he also went there to enjoy life. When one is surrounded by beautiful young girls, sex stimulation naturally becomes prominent. Kardama Muni was sexually stimulated and he enjoyed his wife for many, many years in that part of Mount Meru. But his sex indulgence was praised by many, many siddhas, beings who have attained perfection, because it was intended to produce good progeny for the good of universal affairs. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Padakamalan Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Shahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrishna Vaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubheva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Desha Tarine. जय जय श्री कृष्णा चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरं ॐ तत्सत् आनन्दलीलामय विग्रहाय हेमाव्रदिव्य छवि सुन्दराय तस्मै महाप्रेम रस प्रदाय चैतन्य चंद्राय नमो नमस्ते चैतन्य चंद्राय नमो नमस्ते चैतन्य चंद्राय नमो नमस्ते. Hare Krishna. I have been asked to speak on this topic, and before starting this, I just want to say that cite one small incident. In a village, there is one donkey actually. So this donkey is being tamed by the owner, and daily this donkey is being beaten black and white, and like he's taken to the pond, okay, and the owner is the washerman. He puts all the clothes on the donkey, beats the donkey black and blue, and he takes this. So every day the donkey just thinks like, okay, he will get some food, and for that same food he's just going. And all the entire village is always rebuking the donkey, just laughing at the donkey. And one fine day, what happens is when this donkey is going to that lake, he sees that everyone in the village are offering dandavats to this donkey. So this donkey, he thinks like, oh wow, everyone is offering dandavats to me, and he is so happy, he feels proud. And then while returning back, he sees that again he is being rebuked. So he's just trying to understand what was happening. So that day, the Jagannath Shila, the Jagannath Ji, Lord Jagannath was being carried on. Instead of the washerman's clothes, the Lord Jagannath was being carried on. So that is why everyone was offering dandavats. So I can very much correlate that to my own situation, where by Guru Parampara's mercy, I've been asked to do this service of speaking on this verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, which is so exemplary, such an amazing verse of Bhagavatam. Every word of Srimad Bhagavatam is Shabda Brahma, and this on this very high science I've been asked to speak, and I'm just like the donkey, just trying to share what I've heard so far. I do not have any realizations, and I'm just trying to do this as a service to the Guru Parampara, to all the assembled Vaishnavas and Prabhuji, Shyam Krishna Prabhu, and all the exemplary Vaishnavas are seated here, who are much more exalted, and all the Vaishnavas who are on the Zoom. So with that, I start this one. So this is, uh, we heard the verse, and I just want to read the translation once again. So I want to read the previous verse's translation. Though seemingly attached to his beloved consort, while served by the Gandharva girls, the sage did not lose his glory, which was mastery over his self. In the aerial mansion, Kardama Muni, with his consort, shone as charmingly as the moon in the midst of the stars in the sky, which causes rows of lilies to open in ponds at night. So here, the important thing to hear is Kardama Muni, he he is there in the mountain. He's gone to this mountain of Meru, and the translation says that, and he has gone to. In the next verse, it is said, in that aerial mansion, he traveled to the pleasure valleys of Mount Meru, which were rendered all the more beautiful by the cool, gentle, fragrant breezes that stimulated passion. In these valleys, the treasurer of the gods, Kuver, surrounded by beautiful women and praised by the Siddhas, generally enjoys pleasure. Kardamamuni also, surrounded by the beautiful damsels and his wife, went there and enjoyed for many, many years. So we have to understand one thing. We are talking about Kardamamuni, and he's enjoying. This is Kardamamuni and Devahuti, on whose uh, who on whose uh, in whose house the Lord himself appeared. This is a great personality. Okay, this enjoyment is not a regular enjoyment or indriya trupti that we are talking about. So I would like to read from a letter that Srila Prabhupada wrote to his Grihastha devotee, His Grace Rupanuga Prabhu. I would read one portion of the letter that Srila Prabhupada read, because the whole letter is very long. You can search this out in the internet. It is a letter to His Grace Rupanuga Prabhu, which was written in 1968. And the portions that I read are like this. Srila Prabhupada is writing, I am so glad to see that one of my sincere disciples has sacrificed everything for spreading Krishna consciousness. And I am so pleased upon you that you are showing the example of an ideal householder. So Srila Prabhupada is very pleased with the disciple, okay, one who has sacrificed everything for spreading Krishna consciousness. And he's giving an example of an ideal householder. Srila Prabhupada is further saying, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur was also a householder, but he lived in so perfect Krishna consciousness that he is better than many sannyasis like us. This is Srila Prabhupada's humble position. We know Srila Prabhupada is an acharya in the same line of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So far I am concerned, I could not live like Bhaktivinoda Thakur because I was disgusted with my family members and I was obliged to give up my family life. But Krishna is so kind that although I left my few children born out of this physical body, Krishna has sent many nice, beautiful, obedient children for propagating my mission. And you are one of them. So I'm very much obliged to you. The best thing that you are doing, that you are training our grandchild, Mr. Eric. I always see that he is always with you. And from very childhood, he is getting the Krishna consciousness ideas. And similar opportunity was for me when I was a little boy, like your child. My father also trained me and instructed me to his best capacity. And he prayed for me that Radharani may be pleased upon me. And I think by my father's blessings and grace, I may have come to this position and I might have gotten into relationship with his divine grace. Om Vishnupad Shri Srimadi Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj. So it is also Krishna's grace that I got good father and a good spiritual master, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki jai. And in my old age also, Krishna has favored me with so many good children. So when I see that Krishna is so kind upon me, so I offer oblations unto him. So Srila Prabhupada here is comparing Srila Rupananda Prabhu to Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Like how obviously we cannot do Anukaran, can do Anusmaran. And how Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, even as a householder, he had 10 children. So Krishna consciousness is all about the consciousness that we carry. It has been, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Man mana bhava mad bhakto, give your mind to me. So one who focuses his mind on Krishna, and we know Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is such an exemplary. He's called as the seventh Goswami. It was revealed to him by Sri Dev that whatever whatever the six Goswamis did in Sri Vrindavan Dham, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur alone did it in Navadvip Dham. What an exemplary personality he is. So, what did the six Goswamis do? What were their lifestyle? Kaupin Ashrito, in the Sad Goswami Ashtakam is said, they have taken Ashraya. Okay, they are renunciation personified. Six Goswamis of Vrindavan. And Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, if you see, he has 10 children. It will be bewildering to see, okay. I mean, how is it that, okay, he has 10 children, okay, and he's compared as the seventh Goswami? But what is his consciousness? That is very important, because consciousness is something, okay, is in Krishna consciousness, this word, okay, that is coined, it's all about, in Hindi also it's said, Krishna Bhavnamrita. What is your consciousness? Where is your consciousness fixed up? What are we associating with? So that is very, very important. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur sings, Manas geho deho jo kichu more. What is the next line? I'm forgetting that. Aripilu tuva pade nanda kishore. So, body, mind, and words. Okay, whatever I have, oh Lord, I'm submitting at your lotus feet. Such beautiful. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has written so many books. The Vaishnav bhajans that he has written that reveal the heart that he has, that reveals the consciousness that he has. He's singing, okay, the very beautiful surrender prayers that he's singing, okay. That Daina Atma Nivedana Goptrite Varat Avashay Rakshibe Krishna Vishwasa Palan Bhakti Anukula Matra Karjero Shikar Bhakti Pratikula Bhava Bhajan Angikar Sharanga Sharanagati Hoibe Jahar Tahara Prarthana Shune Srinanda Kumar. So he's singing these beautiful prayers of surrender. Now, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, okay, he's a householder and he's completely fixed up. So what is I will go back to Srila Prabhupada's this letter. Srila Prabhupada is further writing, like, why I was saying this. Srila Prabhupada now goes further. He goes further to a very, very deep extent in that same letter. And just hear this very, very carefully. No matter what ashram that we are in, because we sing in the Vaishnav bhajan Krishnero samsaro karo chhadi anachar. Leave the leave the anachar and start doing Krishner samsar, Krishna's household. Srila Prabhupada is saying, as we Vaishnav sannyasis carry three dandi or three sticks combined together, does anyone know like, what this three dandi, um, what are these three dandis?
One.
Yes, and His Grace Kanaya Krishna Prabhu is very rightly saying that like, it is on mind, body, and words. So Srila Prabhupada is writing here, the one stick is the symbol of understanding oneness. The monist only accept Chinnamata. There is only one spirit soul. They do not understand the varieties of the spiritual world. And so far our three sticks are concerned, we take it for granted that we have dedicated our life for Krishna's service in three ways, as Kanai Krishna Prabhu was saying rightly, namely in our body, in our mind, and in our words. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has sung in a poetry, and I was singing that like Manas Dehogayo, that my mind, my body, and my home is surrendered unto you. So a grihastha, and Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur used to say, when I come back, we hear from His Grace Gulkishore Prabhu that when Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur comes home, he says, okay, this is Vaikuntha, this is Goloka. Right? Like, yes, please, Prabhu. So that's how okay, he's singing. Okay, that's how his focus is. That's the consciousness. I want to cite, we have His Grace Deviti Prabhu sitting here. Okay, I want to cite one example, and he shared when we were hearing the glories of Her Grace Nayan Sundari Mataji. At a time when they were stuck in Canada, once Deviti Prabhu visited the temple here. He visited Radha Gopijan Vallabh. And at that time, when he went back, Her Grace Nayan Sundari Mataji, she was saying that, okay, they started doing Aarti of Prabhuji. And Prabhuji was surprised, actually, what is happening. And the consciousness of Mataji's, they have had darshan of Radha Gopijan Vallabh. They are coming from Dham. Can we imagine the consciousness? Okay, this is the consciousness that Srila Prabhupada is asking us to focus on. This is the reason, like, okay, when a devotee, like when they are getting Guru's mercy, when they are so much fixed up, this is how they are getting Guru's mercy. Like, okay. This is the proof test, actually, litmus test. So Srila Prabhupada further writes that so a grihastha or a householder like you are also a tridandi because you have sacrificed everything, your life, your home, your child. So you are a tridandi sannyasi. In fact, so continue this attitude seriously and sincerely. So you will also be also a good as a sannyasi, even though you are in the dress of a grihastha. This is what Srila Prabhupada is expecting from us. So let's take an example from Chaitanya Charitamrita. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, one of our Goswami, Srila Raghunath Goswami, before he got when he first time he met Lord Chaitanya, at that time, Lord Chaitanya said, leave this, don't be a Markata Vairagi. Okay, don't renunciate externally. Okay. I've heard this from His Grace Amarendra Prabhu. Says, when someone is like thrust, is very frustrated with like in the ashram they're like chodo ghar baar chalo Haridwar. That is not the attitude. We have to be servant of the servant. So for a grihastha, home is the test lab of what we are doing. So what we are preaching, that is the test lab, okay, of what we are applying. Because this is the place, wherever we live, like no matter what ashram we live, whomever we are living with, in that ashram we will get purification. So a brahmachari has his own set of purification. The grihastha will have its own set of purification. And in that state, okay, how we are fixed up, how we are applying Trinadapi Sunichena Tarorapi Saismuna Amanina Mahanadena Kirtaniya Sadahari. To be more humble like a blade of grass. I'm saying this. I'm totally unqualified. Tarorapi saistuna. On a grass, like if someone steps in, okay, like the grass doesn't come and okay, poke. Tarorapi saistuna. The tree in COVID, like we saw 2 years, okay, when kids, okay, when we are inside locked up in the house, we are restless. We want to go out. And at the same time, okay, if we see, look at trees, like they're for hundreds and thousands of years sometimes, okay, they are just standing in the same place. They cannot say, okay, cold winter, leaves are falling. Can we imagine, like, okay, some of our body parts, like, okay, they're shedding down, like, okay. We are we are subjected to such extreme temperatures, and in those situations, like, okay, we are just fixed up. We have no other option. We are helpless. So acceptance of our current situation is tarora precise. Acceptance, it's not about like, okay, comparing us to others. If we compare to others, um, if we compete with others, we can never be happy. If we accept the situation, we understand that, okay, Lord has given me this. If it is good, very good. This is Lord's mercy. If it is not good, if it is horrible, then we said Haribol. This is also Lord's mercy. Because by doing this, I deserve worst. But Lord is so kind. If my hand was to be cut down, then in bhakti only one finger will get a scratch. So if we look at Prahlad Maharaj, okay, can we imagine what he was going through? I mean, his own father, he was bent upon killing him, and he had absolutely no one association. Can we imagine at the mood with which Srila Prabhupada came to give us this Krishna consciousness? In New York, like he was standing in queue to get into a public toilet to give us Krishna consciousness. In that cold, he did not even have winter clothes. Why is he doing? He is fixed up in following the words of his guru. Go and preach this Krishna consciousness in the West. So why I'm saying all this? Because Krishna does not appear in the house of an ordinary person. This, why are the Siddhas glorifying Kardama Muni for enjoying for several years with his wife? Because in the last line, Srila Prabhupada is saying, because it was intended to produce good progeny for the good of universal affairs. So when husband and wife come together as a natural thing, okay, there is union. But when even a karmi also comes together, but his consciousness is to enjoy. But for a Krishna conscious person, a devotee, it is to produce a devotee. The number of children, that does not matter. If one has the capacity, okay, they can bring in as many children that they want, but to bring in devotees, to cultivate devotees, because all the brahmacharis, they are also coming from parents. Okay, they are also coming from uh, from husband and wife. Okay, this Srila Prabhupada said this again and again. This world needs devotees. We are in Ghor Kali Yuga. Maya is under tremendous attack. And that time when good devotees are coming in, okay, there are so many devotees who are coming and brahmacharis. There are devotees who are coming and grihasthas. In fact, okay, if we look at brahmachari, grihastha, vanaprastha and sannyas, all these are coming from grihasthas. It is the grihastha's duty to produce children, okay, who are Krishna conscious. This is the most important. And that is the consciousness Srila Prabhupada is trying to give us. So let's come back to that example of Srila Raghunath Das Goswami. Srila Raghunath Das Goswami is being instructed by Lord Chaitanya, don't be a Markata Vairagi. Don't try to renounce artificially. And I want to read from Chaitanya Charitamrita. So in Chaitanya Charitamrita, in the Madhya Lila, 16.237 actually, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving 3 instructions to Srila Raghunath Das Goswami. Very, very important instructions for which we can try to understand the mood. Now, Raghunath Das Goswami at that point of time, he just somehow or other he wanted to come, okay, to join the movement of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, understanding that okay, he just wants to come out of his responsibility. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling like, okay, you should be responsible. What you are given with, you have to take it responsibly. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, please hear this very carefully. These are words of Chaitanya Charitamrita. Just uttering these words, hearing these words very sincerely, like they purify us. स्थिर हन घरे जाओ न हो बथुला क्रमे क्रमे पाए लोका भव सिंधु कूल स्थिर हन घरे जाओ न हो बथुला क्रमे क्रमे पाए लोका भव सिंधु कूल. Translation: be patient and return home. Don't be a crazy fellow. Don't be Batula. Don't be a crazy fellow. By and by you will be able to cross the ocean of material existence. So we should not be crazy. We should be patient. So in Nectar of Instruction also, Srila Rupa Goswami is instructing us to be patient, to be determined. I'm forgetting that line actually, that 3 instructions. Utshaha, Nischay, Dhairyat. So this is very, very important. And in this purport, Srila Prabhupada is saying, and I'm just reading a part of it, everyone is trying to get out of the ocean of material existence. One cannot immediately reach the coast. But if one endeavors, he can cross the ocean by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy. One may be very eager to cross the ocean, but he cannot attain success by acting like a madman. He must swim over the ocean very patiently and intelligently under the instructions of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or his representative. Then one day he will reach the shore and return home back to Godhead. So we have to be patient and we have to be under guidance. If we are not under guidance, if we come to Krishna consciousness, if we like Hare Krishna, that is one stage of it. But when we get into guidance, so it is I like to visualize, like, okay, visually it is like we want to go back to God, we want to go home back to Godhead. If let's imagine, like from Novi, I want to go to New York. Okay, I have various means of going there. I can go there by walking also. I can go there by bicycle also. I can go there by car also, and I can go there by flight as well, or I can go by jet as well. So when one is like, okay, simple, like they just come into Krishna consciousness, it is just like they are walking on their way to New York. To the extent that they are sincere in accepting this Krishna consciousness, in coming under guidance, okay, once they are sincere, they are in a fast track mode anyways. But once they get fixed up and they are completely surrendered to Guru Parampara, they know, like, okay, where they are getting guidance from, like, okay, and they are fixed up in that. Then in that case, they are in the fastest track mode. This is very important. So, is it okay if I take 5 minutes?
Yeah, please.
So in this context, like, okay, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu further, like he says in the very next verse, Markata vairagya na karo loka dekhana jato joggo vishaya bhunja anashakta hana. You should not make yourself a show bottle devotee and become a false renunciate. So this is more so for me. So it's should not become a show bottle devotee and become a false renunciant. For the time being, enjoy the material world in a befitting way and do not become attached to it. Very, very important instruction. Can we understand what Mahaprabhu is saying? He's saying, for the don't become a show bottle devotee, don't become a false renunciant. And Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, enjoy the material world in a befitting way. Mahaprabhu is saying, enjoy in a befitting way means in a restricted way, and do not become attached to it. So, in this context, in that purport, Srila Prabhupada makes a very, very important point. One cannot be really renounced until one actually becomes disgusted with material activity and sees it as a stumbling block to spiritual to spiritual advancement. Renunciation should not be falgu or temporary, but should exist throughout one's life. Temporary renunciation or monkey renunciation is like the renunciation one feels at a cremation ground. What is that? It is about that same crazy thing, okay, which it was in the past previous verse. Srila Prabhupada gives a very beautiful example. When a man takes a dead body to the crematorium, he sometimes thinks, oh, this is the final end of the body. Why am I working so hard day and night? Such sentiments naturally arise in the mind of any man who goes to a crematorium ghat. However, as soon as he returns from the crematorium ground, he again engages in material activity for sense enjoyment. This is called Samshan Vairagya or Markata Vairagya. We may see sometimes in life, we may come across people, we may see that, okay, when they're in difficulty, they may take up to Krishna consciousness. As soon as difficulty is gone, tuck. Okay. First thing that is gone is Krishna consciousness. That is cut down. So we should not be like that. We should try to be sincerely, okay? And it is something like His Grace Yugal Kishore Prabhu used to give very, very, very wonderful example. Like he would say, when someone is in difficulty, if they are not sincere, first thing that will cut down is chanting. Chanting cut ho gaya. So that should not be our mood. We may be struggling, but my spiritual master, Param Pujya Radhanand Swami Maharaj, says that we may be struggling, but we should aspire to do our best. Okay, we should take association of those devotees who are very sincere. They may be struggling, but they have a clear goal. So once we take association, very high quality association, then in that case, that would really benefit us. This association is the very, very key thing, okay, in Krishna consciousness. Going further, okay, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives the third instruction here. Antore nishtha karo, bahe loko vyavahara, achirat Krishna tomaye, korive udhara. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continued, within your heart, you should keep yourself very faithful. But externally, you may behave like an ordinary man. Thus, Krishna will soon be very pleased and deliver you from the clutches of Maya. Hari Bol. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai. So, Mahaprabhu is saying that within our heart, we should keep ourselves very, very, very faithful. But externally, we can behave like an ordinary man. Thus, Krishna will be very pleased and deliver you from the clutches of Maya. I was hearing His Grace Adi Gadadhar Prabhu, and he was mentioning one very beautiful point actually. So we come across karmis, we come across all this. We come across this karmis. He was sharing one his reciprocation with His Grace Amarendra Prabhu. They share a very beautiful relationship, and the home where His Grace Adigadhar Prabhu stays, that is Dham, because His Grace Amarendra Prabhu also stays there, and that is like, it is a Tirthasthan. Okay, the dust of that place is is amazing. Is like more invaluable than all the precious jewels of this of the entire creation actually. So he was sharing that he has to deal. His Amarendra Prabhu was saying that, okay, that when he meets with karmis, okay, at that time, what he does, okay, says that, okay, he will be looking at their face, and he will be when karmis are talking, that time he will look at their face and he will paint on their forehead Radha. Shri Radha, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. And yeah, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, or Shri Radha, Shri Radha. So the the karmi feels that okay, yeah, we are giving full attention to them, and they are also not feeling sad actually. Such an amazing realization. Okay, so um, and he was sharing that I mean, such devotees, like, okay, they try to aspire that not even a breath goes without uttering Lord's name, Shri Radha, Shri Radha, Shri Radha. Once His Grace Adigyata Prabhu was mentioning, okay, His Grace Amrind Prabhu was putting his hand like on his pulse, and he was just checking, okay, what was happening. So His Grace Adigyata Prabhu asked him, okay, what are you doing? So he was sharing that okay, this is Amarnath Prabhu shares that I'm just checking like, okay, if I am able to take the name of Shri Radha with every beat of the pulse. Shri Radha, Shri Radha, Shri Radha, Shri Radha. What amazing consciousness. What an amazing consciousness. We have this is such blessings of Guru Varga that we have. We've seen okay, our temple, okay, His Grace Yugal Kishore Prabhu is right here. Okay, I want to share one very beautiful pastime that I heard actually. Okay, when Her Grace Nayan Sundari Mataji was leaving her body, okay, at that point of time, she wanted to hold someone's hand. Actually, she held the hand, and at that time, Prabhuji held her hand. And at that time, I was watching the video and I saw, I could, at that same point of time, I could see Guru Maharaj, and I could see the smile on Guru Maharaj. He was so happy, and he was so happy that Prabhuji was giving shelter. And later, okay, I learned something very beautiful that was shared um, by His Grace Divyadal Prabhu, that Prabhuji, as a brahmachari, he's praying intensely to Shri Radha Gopijan Vallabh, that he does not hold a female body's hand, okay, anytime, okay, throughout this life. And at that point of time, when Prabhuji held Mataji's hand, okay, his consciousness was that if I have to go to hell like for this, okay, but this soul, if they go back to Godhead, okay, it is worth it. We have the presence of such exemplary Vaishnavas here. Can we understand the mood of compassion with which they are spreading Krishna consciousness? The, the personality who used to come from New Vrindavan, okay, for every weekend, okay, no matter okay, how many, whether it was snowing or summer or any of those times, okay, he was coming to give Krishna consciousness all across. Okay. We have exemplary association right here, actually. If we value such association, we will try to make the best advantage of it. If we miss this boat, okay, we are missing the most exemplary things in this lifetime, because sadhu sangha, sadhu sangha, sadhu sangha, love matra sadhu sangha, sarva siddhi. So with that, I want to just end this session, okay, saying a very beautiful thing, okay, that I heard from Her Grace Nitai Savini Mataji very recently. So we as householder, we have to be fixed up, or as brahmacharis also, okay, brahmacharis, like no matter whatever ashram that we are in, what is this bhakti? This bhakti is about the inner, our inner purification, our mind, and our service mood of service. So, so this mind, consider this, okay, we are in this material world, and when a war has been waged, or all our senses, okay, they are in a tremendous war, okay, and in all the, if we think about this war, right, the armies are moving. So in this, Maya is constantly under attack, and in our six senses, they have put their persons. And who is above the senses? Above the senses is the mind, and above that mind is intelligence. So this intelligence, if we sharpen our intelligence, then it can control the mind. So this intelligence is, if we have to really sharpen our intelligence, we have to hear. We have to be fixed up in hearing. Shravanam, very essential from fixed up devotees. And those who are, obviously we have to hear from our Guru Varga, from our preeminent Acharya Srila Prabhupada. And also we have to hear from the other fixed up devotees who can translate those words in who can decode those words in something that we understand, because sometimes we may not be able to catch those higher frequency. So we need things to be translated in our level. Okay. We have to understand, and I am saying this for myself actually. So because as soon as we plug onto that antenna, okay, then we can understand. Then we can understand our Guru Varga's mood, because when great souls come, they will in in a 30 minutes they will give a class which could be a monthly Bhagavad Saptah for us. Okay, it will take us months to digest that, and then it will be like, oh, I got it now. Those eureka moments will come for our life. So we need those associations of those fixed up devotees who understand, and by guidance, we need those devotees who can give us time, who understands us, and who can deliver us the message that is required for us. We should not be window shopping for who can give us those things which are pleasing to us, but we should look out for sincere devotees who are fixed up. That is the mood. And so we talked about intelligence, sharpening the intelligence by hearing, and the mind which is a culprit. So the mind, Her Grace Nitai Savini Mataji, who is an exemplary Grihastha herself, okay, a very, very exemplary Vaishnavi who carries the Guru Varga. So she was mentioning that the mind is just like she gave an example. In a village, there is a genie. Okay, this genie, one boy was going in the, he was just going to school, and he got some cup, and through that cup, like he just rubbed that cup, and there came out a genie, and he's like, "Kya hukum mere aaka? What can I do for you?" So the boy said, "Oh, you do this thing. You get me this sweet, give me this food, give me that thing." And whatever he's asking, this genie is doing quickly. And he's saying, "Okay, I want to build a house, build a school for me." Everything the genie is doing in just minutes. Okay, just moments. But now the genie is saying, "Tell me, Aka, what I can do for you. If you don't tell me, then I will eat you up." Now the boy is scared. But the boy is intelligent also. The boy said, "Okay, then you do one thing. You see the tree, just climb up the tree. Once you climb the topmost thing, then you have to go down. As soon as you come down, as soon as you hit the rock bottom, then you have to go up. As soon as you go up, then you have to come down." So similarly like this. Now the genie is constantly going up, going down, going down, going up. So similarly, our mind is just like a monkey, always trying to just hop from one place to another place. So what do? We should give it the mala. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. So we should go up into that mala. We should come back again. We should try to focus our mind that, okay, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. This is our way to be fixed up. Okay, and then and as we are fixed up, okay, we require, okay, to be humble also. For that, we need to do service, to be serving in the mood of servant. As Grihasthas at home, I was mentioning test lab. Whoever we have at home, they are also Vaishnavas. We should treat them, okay, that they are representations of our Guru Parampara. Okay, they are there. Okay, if we are getting, it should not be that okay we come to temple and that is where we become like devotees. We should be a devotee everywhere, and at that point of time also, obviously not with when we are at office work, we do whatever is required, but at home, whomever we are, we treat them as they are, like, okay, as if they are children that Guru, our Guru Varga has given us, our Guru Maharaj has given. Our wife would be like, okay, the daughter of the Guru Maharaj. So when we treat them in that way, then in that mood of Krishna consciousness, we will be pleasing our Guru Varga. With that, I would like to stop it here. If I said something inappropriate, please forgive me as your servant. And if you liked something, that is the glory of Guru Varga, that is the glory of Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Shri Radha Gopijan Vallabh and Shri Nitai Patpawan Gururi for tolerating me when I'm not qualified at all. And most important thing, I just request, I humbly beg at all of your lotus feet to kindly bless me and pray for me so that I can progress in this path of devotional service. It's Prabhupada said that it is very simple. It is very simple for the simple-hearted, but it is not easy because we are in this battle with Maya. It is like, look, we are trying to cross an ocean where the flow of the ocean is on one side. Unless and until we have fixed up association, we cannot move from one side to another. Hare Krishna. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, जगत कृष्ण प्रभुपाद की जय, श्री गुरु गौरंगा की जय, फार्मिंगटन हिल्स यात्रा की जय, अनंत की जय,
Jai.
प्रभु की जय.
Jai.
Does anyone have any questions, comments, or any suggestions?
I don't have a question, bro. I just have one realization which I had while you were giving this katha.
Please,
Krishna goes to
why don't you take the mic so that
no, I'm good, bro. I'll speak loudly. So Sri Krishna goes to Mother Yashoda, Maya, Maya, give me those pearls. And Yashoda Maya is saying, what are you going to do with these pearls, Kana? He says, I'm going to sow, and then the plant will come, and then the pearls will come out of it. So Yashoda Maya is laughing, but Krishna is, no, I want it, And then he takes those pearls and sow them, and then beautiful plant come, and they're beautiful pearls, even bigger than the one which were sown there. This is a beautiful pastime, and it just connects me to this. Yugal Kishore Prabhu and Sham Kishore Prabhu and other wonderful Vaishnavas, they somehow took their pearls from the Guru Varga, and then they sowed them, and then wonderful pearls like you come. So that's what I was thinking about. Where were you for so long? It was such a wonderful class. Thank you so much for sharing.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Varga ki jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Prabhuji, is it okay if I ask a question?
Yes, Madhuri. I'll just make it a bit louder. The laptop is. Yes, Madhuri. Hare Krishna.
So, Prabhuji, very nice class. I especially like the point which you made that accepting our situation is Trinadipi Sunichena. That was very, very nice, Prabhuji. Like a very deep point I felt. Also, Prabhuji, I wanted to ask when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave the 3 instructions to Raghunath Das Goswami, the second was accept the material enjoyments right now. Don't get attached to them, but live in them. The third was in your heart, be very faithful. Outside, you can act as you want. Prabhuji, unfortunately, I forgot the first one. What was the first instruction?
First one was by be patient and return home. So Raghunath Das Goswami, he came, like, he said, like, he wanted to join, like, the movement then and there itself. He said, be patient and return home. Don't be a crazy fellow. By and by you will be able to cross the ocean of material existence.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Very, very helpful. and a very nice, inspiring class, Prabhuji. Your devotion to Srila Prabhupada and the whole Guru work actually transmits through your words. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, गुरु महाराज की जय, गुरु वर्ग की जय, गुरु परंपरा की जय.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Very uplifting and very deep class. I'm really grateful.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you. Very nice class.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Very nice class. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Very nice class, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.